So if we do some straight stitching, at the moment I've got the foot control plugged in, so that would be operating as the speed limiter. So no matter what I do with the foot control, the machine will only chug along very slowly. If I turn this up, it means we have access to the full range of speed on the machine, from slow to fast. If we always want the needle to stop down in the fabric, we can press this button here, which will mean that the needle always stops down inside the fabric, which is good for when wanting to pivot the fabric on the needle. No matter what we do, it's always going to stop with the needle down. If we wanted to use the machine without the foot control, we can unplug the foot control and then use the start-stop button on the front of the machine to start it. And stop, turn the speed down, and we can adjust the speed here. To select a zigzag stitch, stitch 07, so now we've selected zigzag stitch. It's going to be 5mm wide and the length will be 1.5. These settings are automatically coming up as default settings for each stitch. So I'll plug the foot control back in on the machine so I can control the speed using the foot control. If we wanted to choose any of the other stitches, if we chose an overcasting stitch, stitch 16, here now we can see that we've chosen stitch 16, the width will be 7mm wide, the length will be 2.5, and it's telling us that we should use presser foot F. Right at the top of the display here we've got an F. That letter will change depending on the stitch that you've chosen. So for this particular stitch, Janome recommends to use foot F. I know this stitch will work fine with the foot that I've got on, which is actually foot A. Each foot has got the letters stamped on the back of the foot. It's not too important to follow what the letter says at the top of the machine. It's a recommendation, you can follow it if you want to, but most stitches will work just fine using foot A, which is your standard zigzag foot. If you're working on some difficult fabrics, maybe stretchy fabrics, and doing a satin stitch, that sort of thing, then it might be worth following the recommendation. Foot F is actually a applique foot, so you could use that for any of the applique stitches. If we wanted to now do a buttonhole, we'll raise the needle. There's a little button on the back of the foot, which you can press, and the foot will just pop off. If we then load a button in the one-step buttonhole foot, for this I'm just going to put a bobbin in, which will set the length of the foot, set the length of the buttonhole. So the next thing is to get the top thread through the hole in the foot. We can do that. Everybody has their own way. My way is just to do that. So we're now going to select a buttonhole. On this machine, being the 605, there's 7 different types of buttonhole. If we choose a keyhole buttonhole, which is stitch 55, here now we can see use presser foot R, which is a buttonhole foot, stitch 55, the width is going to be 7 and the length is 0.4. This little symbol here is telling us that we've got the foot control plugged in. You could adjust the length of this stitch if you're working on stretchy fabric or anything difficult. You might want to increase this to 0.5 or even above. So to change that, we go across. So we've now selected the length, and then you can make it whatever length you choose. I'm going to put it back to 0.4 because that should be suitable for this type of fabric. The next thing is to push down the sensor, which gets triggered when the machine has completed the full length of the stitch. After that, you're ready to sew. And that's the buttonhole complete. If you wanted to do another buttonhole, just simply place the fabric under the foot, choose your buttonhole. I think in this time we could choose stitch 50, which is a standard buttonhole. And the machine is ready to go again. The little beep tone at the end is just to tell you that the stitch is complete. Now, if we just take the bobbin out that I used to set the length, you can see that the buttonhole is the right length for the bobbin that we used to set the length. On the back of the machine is the switch to lower the feed dogs. So if we were going to do free machine embroidery, we could click that button across, that lowers the teeth, and then you're ready to do free machine embroidery. To set the machine back for normal sewing, raise the lever at the back, press the button at the back, and the foot pops off. Then just load your standard zigzag foot. And in a nutshell, that's the QXL605, 603 and 601. These are a nice machine. They've got lots of features and functions built into them. They're well made and suitable for sewing most types of fabric. So any jobs around the home, this machine would be fine for. If you wanted something with more features and functions, then it would be nice to choose a machine like the 605 with the built-in thread cutter and more buttonholes and that sort of thing, but they're a great machine. We'll just show that built-in thread cutter. So if we now choose a normal straight stitch, press the thread cutter button, and the machine has just trimmed off the thread, just leaving two small tails there.